Hi, this is Elizabeth Lopez, and I'm coming to you from San Diego, California. Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this Inclusive Communities Conference. I really hope you guys are learning a lot and are motivated to change the world. And I'm very excited about this. Today, I'm going to be talking about a practice called FGM, or female genital mutilation, or female genital cutting. The female genital cutting term is something new that we are changing to be more sensitive to those women who have experienced this. And it is something that I'm very passionate about, not only to change this practice, but to take care of the women that we have here in our communities living amongst us in this time of global immigration where people are fleeing their countries. It's something for those of us who are in countries that do not or may not think we practice it in our country to be more knowledgeable about it and to be very sensitive to what they are going through and to make our community more welcoming to them and to understand what they've been going through. So, to give you some background, there are at least 200 million girls and women throughout the world who have experienced some form of FGC, and that includes 30 countries that has been a certain percentage of those women have undergone FGC. There are other countries that there are no studies have not been done, or that it's a smaller amount of women, so they don't make the percentages that, say, UNICEF or the World Health Organization has found. So I will be talking about India, and there are women that have undergone FGC there in India, so I will be touching on that. But first, to speak about more of the global situation, I have provided, and I'm hoping you're able to see a map of the world where you will see those 30 countries that the women have undergone FGC. And of those women that I spoke about, the 200 million, at least 44 million of those are children under the age of 15. Now, in most countries, this is done to girls that are under 5 years old. The typical time period is 0 to 5 in many of the countries, and in other countries would be at age 15. For those of you who may not know what FGC is, it is the partial or total removal of the external female genitalia or any other injury of the female genital organs for non-medical reasons. There are 4 types of FGC, and these include, the first one is the clitorectomy, which is the total removal of the clitoris. The second type is excision, where there is a partial or total removal of the clitoris and the labia minora, or with or without the excision of the labia majora. The third type, which we see pretty often, is sealing, and that is when they cut and stitch together the labia minora or labia majora, and it forms a seal. For the sealing, the clitoris is left, but then there's another type that's called infibulation, where they seal it and cut off the clitoris, and then once the woman heals, then the genital area is then just smooth. There's no indication that you ever had any opening in that area. This practice is predominant in the sub-Saharan Africa and the Middle East, and actually in Southeast Asia. You hopefully noticed that on the world map that the Southeast Asia, Indonesia, Malaysia, that area, there are a large percentage of women that experience FGC there. Now, if you would look at the second graphic, it's a map of Africa, and it'll show you by different countries what the percentage of women that experience FGC there. And you'll see in Somalia, Guinea, Djibouti, and Sierra Leone, more than 90% of the females undergo FGC. Not on this map, but Egypt, and then in the African map you'll see Mali, Sudan, Eritrea, and there the prevalence rate for FGC is 80%, is over 80%. In Indonesia, it is estimated that half of the girls under the age of 11 have been subjected to FGC. And some of my research, I see that in Malaysia, there is a new population, a new sect that has mandated that all children, all women undergo FGC. So this practice is not just in these areas that are on the map, as I stated, but they have been found in India as well. In fact, in the heart of Mumbai, there are young girls aged 6 and 7 that are regularly cut by untrained midwives, and these are from the Dawoodi Bohra community, and that's a Shia sect, Islamic sect. Here the practice is called khatna, and it is based on a belief that the clitoral head is a source of sin that causes women to stray from their marriage. And this is a tradition that predates Islam, and it thrives in this Bohra community. Even though in 2012 the UN has declared female genital cutting a human rights violation, there is no ban in India or in many other of the countries that you see on the maps. And even in the countries that do ban it, there is no way to monitor this. This is a traditional tribal practice, so the government tends not to get involved with those practices. In addition, these are not done by trained doctors in medical facilities, but they're done in villages, or there's a designated practitioner in that village that it is that person's job to gather the girls at least once a year to have this ceremony performed on them when they reach a certain age. And I know from my own clients' stories that many times the children's mother does not want this to happen, and it takes place when the mom is away shopping or out of the house for some reason, and maybe the aunt is involved or the grandmother, and the child is taken and this act is performed on them. Thank you so much